Hey there, I'm Eternal, and I'm an object show fan that has barely watched any object shows. We have to fix that. Let's play Object Catchup. Hi, welcome in to another installment of Object Catchup, the series where we discuss object show episodes right after watching them from the new to the old, the famous to the unknown. We will try to get to it all. Now, today's episode has no real theme. We mainly just need to get a lot of this stuff watched, right? Because the weekend is gonna be a complicated little weekend here with a bunch of releases that might even warrant their own specials, which means that I can't cover anything else when we're doing a special entirely on one show, right? So that means that we're gonna need to just sort of take a look here at a bunch of the other little shows that have released, that don't have too many episodes that we can kind of cover in one go. There is the possibility that this episode will end up a little bit longer than usual because we are just going to take a look at pretty much nearly everything I have on the list. There's one show or two I won't because they had too many episodes, but other than that, we'll pretty much take a look at anything that we can get our hands on today. So then leave relatively open spot in the weekend for us to just go for it, right? Like if I need to do a special on this show or that show, we could just do it. Um, Earlier, what the things that I usually say, shout out to Mikey for having created the Obelisk Show Roundup, which is the series of this series, takes a very heavy inspiration from, of course. And secondly, let's just get into it. So, the first show that we are going to be taking a look at today, it is made by JackWAnimations, YouTuber with 6,000 subscribers, mainly known for creating a few little object shows and also some um, reanimations, of T-pop, BFB, all that jazz from a few years ago. Well, this fella has made a show. It is called the Object Visualization Show, which I don't know what that means, but I guess we'll find out. Heading into the first episode of it, which is called I'll Get My Ball. It was released around 8 months ago. So yeah, let's watch it so that we can get caught up to the latest episode, episode 3, which released yesterday. But first, gotta watch episode 1, of course. I'll Get My Ball. Let's go. Okay, I have just watched OVS 1, I'll Get My Ball. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this it's first of all, well, okay, let's start out with the positive. So it's animated very well. The animation for this is very nice. I enjoy it. I especially like Telescope animated very well. The Doll Bones animated very well. The Lollipops animated. The host as well as animated. The intro is really good. Like it's a very nice little animation. Very smooth. Very nice to watch. Very high quality. So that's all good. Um, the characters themselves, the cast, it's a pretty solid cast. We see a bunch of different characters. I mean, we don't get to see, of course, too much of them because it is very fast paced. The pacing of the show is very fast. Like it is super punchy. It goes da 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 da. Like it goes gag onto the next gag onto the next gag. The characters like directly just straight up interrupt each other like half the time. So just how fast the pacing is, but yeah, it does manage to make roughly 2 minutes. It feels like a very full 2 minutes, like it all makes sense. But the animation is truly great. But honestly, this episode felt more like an English comprehension test than an episode half the time. I was just trying to understand what they were saying. I don't know. There's like they speak in these riddles, dude. These characters. I don't like. Maybe I could cheat, but maybe I have extra solution. Me too, or something. Like they just say some these like weird sentences, and like at the beginning, the host just stumbles on their words like half the time. That's even the joke of the intro. Welcome to all contestants. This will begin a new show, the Object Visualization Show. So I'm your host, Pencil Case. This is your new reality. Participate, contestants. So the contest. You see, like this is weird. This sentence, I don't like. There's like these run-on sentences that are sort of like awkward and like I don't know. I mean, yeah, the absolutely the main thing that I would recommend if right off the get-go from this show. It's okay if characters can speak like this. Like, okay, sure, we can have characters speak like this, but I need to also understand them. So this desperately needs subtitles. Like YouTube subtitles cannot deal with this. I cannot deal with this. It needs like captions, either on the screen or something. I think this show definitely needs captions. At least this episode, because the way they speak is just mildly weird, and it means that I don't catch quite a good amount of speech because it's just sort of spoken in a weird way, you know. But anyways, the challenge ends up becoming to grab the ball off of a pillar. So the crafting table is just chilling, doesn't even really try. Then there's like some flower fella. That's actually a good question. I don't know what they are called. Um, they are called the pink cauliflower. Oh, okay. The pink cauliflower tries, but doesn't really get anywhere because it's hard. The dog bone fella throws the dog bone to get it, which is smart. However, it ends up losing the dog bone, so he's a bit worried about it. Lollipop manages to use crafting table, which isn't really doing anything to stack up and get it because, Lollipop's pretty tall. The little lamp fella does help out the strawberry cake to get up there and grab the ball. So it's a very, very sweet little fella. Also ends up just winning the challenge themselves. Very cool animation with the telescope getting it. So I'm a fan of that. And then crafting table stays there. The bottle wants to help pink cauliflower up, accidentally or not cause them fat. Which pink cauliflower gets offended by, and then we have the elimination, which is crafting table that didn't really try, paint bottle that was trying to be nice but did say something mildly wrong, and then pink cauliflower. So that is the elimination. I don't really know who would get eliminated here. I mean, I'm thinking it would be pink cauliflower because they got kind of mad for no reason. Paint bottle was trying to be nice, but will the viewers get that, or will they only pay bottle because, oh no, you called him fat, but like that's not what happened. Like that's not true. Or could they vote crap? This is a pretty good voting. I think they're all there's like a decent reason why each one of them might get out. I am with pink cauliflower, but in this one I'm quite unsure. But yeah, I mean heading into OBS 2, I really want captions. I'm presuming there's no captions, but either way, we'll head into it. The episode is called Long Jump. It is longer than the previous episode. Let's go. Okay, I have watched OVS 2 Long Jump. Now, okay, I need like a pep talk. Am I just bad? Am I just getting majorly skill issued? Because I'm so sorry. Right? With all my heart, I am so sorry. But I don't understand what these people are saying half the time. I I'm really trying here. I don't know. Like so many sentences. It's like it's a stumble and it's not. It's like it's a stumble or it's a mumble or it's just worded weird. Like I can't get it. I can't grasp it. It's like it's really unfortunate because the animation is extremely good. The intro, which I hadn't mentioned in the last episode, yeah, that's also quite a fun intro. It's quite a good intro. The challenge itself is actually great. It's a very nice little challenge. If individually everybody gets to go, everybody gets to display themselves, gets to banter before and after, because they're in the row. Like it's a very good challenge. But like I don't know why can't I? I'm like brawling here with myself because it's like why do I not understand half these words? What is going on? I don't know, but I'm like this is the most unfortunate thing ever. Like I don't know, I feel really bad. Okay. Well, firstly, the elimination, which I think is vote to save on accident. No, I don't even know. Was it vote to save before, or was it vote to eliminate? I think it was just voting in general. Or something. Because wait, did they say voting? Now that I think about it, I'm gonna have to like check the episode one because I don't know if it was vote to eliminate or vote to save. I originally guessed that it was vote to eliminate, but now that I think about it, I kind of don't know. Hold on. Who you want to be safe? Oh no, it is vote to save. Okay, I actually didn't realize. All right. If it was vote to save, I would have probably predicted crafting table to get out. With vote to eliminate, I predicted pink cauliflower. Yeah, pink cauliflower gets safe in a vote to save. That makes perfect sense. But yeah, crafting table didn't do nothing. Who wants to save crafting table? That makes sense. And then they get out. They say some final line, which again I don't know what they said. I'm sorry, I don't know. Um, and then the challenge ends up being just a long jump contest. Fair enough. Um, yet again, we see everybody their ability. You know, the high energy of the dog bone manages to be saved pretty easily. The lollipop manages a pretty dang good jump as well. Hey, just one thing I'm gonna point out. All right, is that in the long jump, every person you cannot cross the red line at all in the final step. I'm just saying because some of the characters they do it. Mild animation mistake. um, yeah, it's fine. Some characters do okay, like Pink Cauliflower. The old telescope does amazing. The telescope is unbelievably good at what they're doing at their job. The pink, the the purple, not the paint bottle gets reasonably large, and then the duo of like the strawberry cake and then the little lamp doesn't. They both kind of flop pretty hard. Strawberry cheesecake ends up going last after wanting to go first, and then stumbles and misses. Yet again, very good animation. The Magic Lamp is just very big and bulky, so can't really jump too far. So those are the up for Elam. Okay, I mean, in a vote to save, I think Strawberry Cheesecake gets safe, and I don't know, Paint Bottle didn't do too much in this episode. I'm gonna say that the duo gets there. I'm saying Paint Bottle gets out. I'm saying Paint Bottle gets out, heading into OVS 3, which is the latest episode. It's called Halloween Cosplay, on theme, of course, because Halloween is up and coming in about a week. Let's watch it. I have just watched OBS. No. Dude, I'm mumbling like the show. I'm gonna keep that. Usually I'd cut and do it again. You know what? This is just like the show. I have just watched episode 3 of OVS, and you know what? Joke's on me. This is the point, I think. It's like the show is just a one big mumble, and it's like, I, it's so hard to understand. Genuinely, like I understand like the basic grasp of an interaction, but what they're like actually saying, I don't know. And I'm only get what they're feeling based on the visual cues. Otherwise, I don't even know if I'd be capable of getting it. Um, Look, okay. I successfully did predict the elimination of the paint bottle getting out. They weren't too interesting. They kind of did the least in both of the previous two challenges. Okay, well, no, crafted table did less than challenge one, but in this challenge they definitely did the least. And the duo, of the bendy lamp and the strawberry cheesecake definitely makes sense that they would keep going. So yeah, paint bottle gets out and goes to the elimination area, whatever that is. Um, then the intro plays. As usual, it's animated very well. I really like the animation for the panic that the strawberry cheesecake has, not wanting to get eliminated. The host yet again is animated quite nice. The voices are fine. They just, I just don't speak clearly. Like, hold on. All right, do you want to hear the example? Like the best example for why this is so hard is like the elimination. Okay, so I am going to quote the challenge. I'm going to quote the challenge explanation. All right, word for word. Each prepare costumes. You have 20 minutes left. Remain where your fancy belongs. Only creative is special. If it doesn't find everything, you can share a box if you like, but remain. You cannot allow to push each other. Respect only. Also, you can work together. About 2 people, then 6. It's complex. I do usually miss it. Review only the ranks. Get out of 10. The 3 people who messed the costumes will be up for elimination. I don't know what any of that means. Like, if you just say that to me, I'll be like, what? Like, the only reason I understood the challenge was because the screen isn't a mumble, you know, like the screen shows it, but shows the costumes and like the teams, and then it'll get reviewed. Like, yeah, I get it, but like from the words, I don't know what that means. Like, what? Um, and it's like, maybe like it's the point. I think it's weird because it's never stated that it is the point, or maybe it is. It's all like that. It's a mumble, but like I don't. So weird, but yeah. So that was why I was thought in the last episode. I found it kind of weird because it was like, wait a minute, is this the? Am I going crazy, or is this just how it's supposed to be? Is it supposed to be nearly make no sense? And it's like, no, apparently not. Apparently this is how it works. And it's like, oh, dude, it's yeah, it is absolutely crazy. So they go do their cosplays, all right, which is the challenge to cosplay for Halloween. To put on the Halloween costume. So then here we get to see some dynamics. The old telescope, we actually get to see the old telescope speak a little bit. The old telescope was very quiet in the other challenge just because they just kind of locked in and did it. But they helped out the pink cauliflower to get a very nice looking emo costume. The strawberry cheesecake and the bandit keep helping each other out by having by because the strawberry cheesecake already had the costume planned out, the cat costume with the cat ears. So they help out Bendyland with the costume by making a witch costume. Eventually, the emo look for the pink cauliflower is decided. So there needs to be a sort of 2-minute speed run from Old Telescope to try to figure out the costumes. So then what are the costumes? We have the cowboy costume for Lollipop, which is pretty nice. I'm actually a fan of it personally. I think it got a pretty low score, but I kind of wait. I don't even know what score it got, but no, sorry. I thought it got the score that the double got. My bad. The double got a boyfriend FNF costume, which I mean, it's fine when you consider that it's the dog bowl. Like, there's not too much that they can do, because it's such like it's such like a baseline character, just a rectangle. Like, you can't like dress it up that much. So it's a pretty decent go at it. The cat ears costume doesn't do too much because I mean, strawberry cheesecake is absolutely devastated. The costume is fine; it works. It's just it's kind of omega basic. Which is the cat ears. The cat ears are surprisingly functional, and well animated. The witch is pretty fire. And then the emo is also pretty swag. And that old telescope is the money, but can't really get it in time, which means that the three are up for Elam. Old telescope, strawberry cheesecake, and dog bowl. Which one is getting Elam? Dude, this one's really hard voting. Can't even lie. But it ended in 15 hours. That is so little time. Holy. Why? 15 hours. The episode takes like a month to make. There's no way you need this little voting time. What? That's that is hashtag crazy. I can't even lie. Like 15. Okay, whatever. Um I mean, I'm predicting Dogbo gets eliminated because even though Dogbo is fun and is a nice character, and some people are gonna want to save him. I think Old Telescope gets the sympathy points where helping out a lad and doing the makeup and all that jazz. And the Strawberry Cheesecake gets in through the power of friendship. People like him. Bendy Lamp, I think Dogbo sort of gets out. But as far as the eliminations concerned, very nice little eliminations. Like they've done a good split here to make the eliminations a relatively complicated decision. Um, like it's not easy to grasp who's out. So I'm a fan of the elimination. I'm a fan of the challenges. I think they're pretty good challenges. Everybody gets a go at every challenge. It's not just like find stuff, first person to find it, right? Maybe the worst one was the first challenge because some people didn't try at it. But the other challenges for episode 2 and 3 are actually very nice. And the animation, as usual, it looks very, very good. And the costumes, they're also quite nice. I think every costume was relatively well made. Like even for the mummy, from Old Telescope, you can like it's got a nice drawing to it because you can tell that it was made sort of quick. So Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of it. It's just I don't know. It's like I need me some subtitles. I'm sorry. You know, I can't live like this. The like I think it's the point that the show is like everybody's mumbling, but look, I would like to watch the good show, you know, and not have to like do a puzzle on what the character said. This might be a controversial opinion, and in which case I'm very sorry. It might not be for me, but like, Vi is rough. I know I criticized this a few episodes ago with like the character that speaks backwards. It's like, okay, cool gimmick, but I need to know what they're saying, so you need to caption it. It's like, ah, whatever. The good show, well animated, well done. It's interesting gimmick, but like I don't know. I need these captions, you know, like whether they have subtitles and then it's optional. Like I think it's a big necessity for somebody like me to enjoy it more, right? Uh, because I don't think having the text there for with what they're trying to say necessarily ruins the vision of them being mumbling, right? Like I don't think that has much to do with it. Um, like I think it amplifies it because you're like, oh, this is what they're saying. That's crazy, you know. Instead of like just going, what are they saying? Like it's not. I don't know. Me personally, I think it would entirely enhance the viewing experience because like you still hearing them speak how they would speak, but now you can know what they're saying. And I don't like I think it's better than not knowing what they're saying. So that's my main critique of the show, absolutely. But because everything else looks very good and it's very nice, it's just that one detail. Personally not for me to have a show that's hard to understand, audio wise, but other people seem to enjoy it. You know, it's got a good amount of views, it's got a good amount of support. And yeah, you know, these episodes 3.8K, 3.6K, this video already got 400 views by the time I'm looking at it. So yeah, it's very good. Keep it up. And yeah, that's all. Alrighty, the next object that we are going to be taking a look at is going to be it's a tiny little object show with 4 episodes that are all pretty fast. It is titled Battle of the Objects. It is created by Percy Roblox, fellow YouTube creator with less subscribers than me. So go subscribe. Go subscriber. No way I should have more subscribers than the object show creators them reviewing themselves. That's just illegal. Um, but yeah, we'll start off here. They had an episode released yesterday, but of course, for that, we gotta talk about the episode that released a few weeks ago. Starting off with episode 1, called Is Just a Battle. Let's watch it. It's under a minute long, so should be pretty fast. Alright, let's go. Alright, well, I've just watched episode 1 of Battle of the Objects. So the best way I can describe what I've just looked at, right, is imagine looking at a show from the POV of the host, and it's one of those hosts that just like go make team names and then they just leave. Like that's kind of what's going on here. It's like we're watching a show from the perspective of what the host sees. Like the host sees a bit of the squabbling, then it's like, nah, I'm gonna make my own teams. Teams get made, then you know, go make a team, then leaves, comes back, and then we like leave with them, you know. So then we only get to see the final result. We don't get to see any of the squabbling, any of the like actual team making names. Um, so apparently Team One is up for elimination. That's actually not true because they redeemed themselves with the team name because they picked the team name The Cards, which is better than Cherry Blossom Iced Tea. Which fair enough. Now my question is, how is Cherry Blossom Iced Tea a worse name than That just sounds like such a bad team name. I what? How I don't know about the host's decision there. I think that is a worse name than Cherry Blossom Iced Tea. In fact, I think Cherry Blossom Iced Tea is a better name than the Cards because there's like 2 cards in the team called the Cards, and the other ones are triangle and a brick, which are both are not cards. And there's other cards in the other team, so it's not every card. Like it's I don't I'm not sure I agree with Mr. Text to Speech host here. But either way, yeah, they're up for Elam. Featuring Green Squiggle, oval black thing, Bo from I but bad, and then Box from I but rectangle. So I don't know the characters. I'm making up names for them because they don't have names. They're also out of order. Why did they go BACD? What? Why would you do that? Look, I don't know. I mean, it's alright, but of course, personally in the show, I'd prefer being able to see the characters interact. Alright, let's go to episode 2. Let's speedrun it. It's called Take the Popcorn. Quite a bit longer than the previous one. Let's go. Alright, that is episode 2 of Battle of the Objects. Take the popcorn. So, the first thing we get is a little bit of intel of apparently the cherry blossom iced tea was Candy's name. Now, how would we ever know that before? We wouldn't. We wouldn't know that. We don't know that's what happened. We didn't see it happen. We're getting this lore after the fact. But apparently the team picked Candy's name rather than Pebble's name, which we don't know what Pebble's suggestion even was. Either way, they were not the worst team name, and they even Team One eventually realizes this. They have like a one-liner, like the crayon file. It's like, how were we not up for eliminate? Yeah, I don't know either. So Box ends up getting eliminated. We get to see Box's only quote of the season: "Lemon truly bars." Then, oh, hold on. A book says in the note, "Congratulations on winning the final two. I understand you're upset and feel unappreciated for being in the final two, but you're a strong team leader. You should be proud of yourself. Box was weird anyways." Final two of what? Wait, does that mean the last two eliminated? Oh, it's the last two eliminated. Dude, that's... I mean, we don't know how many votes they got. I don't know how big the discrepancy was. We just know that the other fellas got one vote. Okay, because I was confused. I was like, wait, final two of what? There was like 20 contestants left. Okay, alright, that makes a bit more sense now that I'm looking at it now, but that's mega confusing. It's a bit like surviving the final two. Winning the final two is a bit weird. Alright, eventually Team just gets the popcorn. They don't like. There's not much fuss about it. They just found it at a store. Yet again, we don't really see how they found it, but they found it. Apparently, it was for free on Amazon. Then we do. Yeah. Okay. To be fair, I do think this is correctly foreshadowed. It's extremely small, but Candy throws a bag of fake popcorn from the sky. It lands on Team Vicards because the not the yeah the envelope fella wishes for it for their birthday. I think. So then it's like, oh my god, dream come true. Then for some reason in the next shot they're drooling, like just straight. I don't know why, but yeah, eventually they hand it in, and it is fake popcorn, which means that they're up for Elam. So you know, it's a pretty smart move there from Team Cherry Blossom Iced Tea, because they don't actually have to do the challenge. Like they don't do the challenge. You know, they don't actually give popcorn to the boombox fella. Like they don't. But they just disqualify the other team so they don't have to. So you know, it's pretty smart. Yet again, I don't know what's going on with this voting screen. Why does it go DABC? I like. Why can't we do ABCD? Why is that so hard? Whatever. Other than that, I mean, this episode's definitively better than the last one, for sure, because we get to actually see a challenge play out. You know, it's not like last time where we didn't get to see any of the team making portion, which is the after challenge portion. Here we do actually get to see the challenge in the popcorn. So I think this is an improvement over the last episode. And let's keep it moving, heading into episode number 3, which is called Host of Chaos. All right. Alright, that was a fast little episode. So that was Battle of the Objects 3, Host of Chaos. So what happens is the host just dies because for some reason they happen to be making a challenge right beneath an anvil, because as everybody does, you know, oh, damn it, you know that moment when you're just brainstorming right below an anvil. I do that all the time. So they just die. Everybody else is like, wait, we got no host. And then mysterious stick figure with a red body appears that I don't know the name of, and nobody questions how they appeared or how they got there, but they are there now, decided that they want to host, and everybody is okay with it, appears. Right? So they go and do the elimination because, yeah, I don't know how they know the votes, by the way. Like, how would you know the votes? You're not the host, but anyways. Um, 2 people got 0 votes, which is the ID, which I called envelope last time. My bad. They're pretty similar. And the SD card. So that makes sense. I don't know why the ID card is so like happy all the time. Like even at the beginning, ID card's like, "Yep, you're taking a nap. We jolly." But yeah, eventually they're safe, and then the eliminated ends up being Spiky. After getting 5 votes, while the Brick Fellas is safe with 3. But it's just that the other fellas got 0. I think people like the cards in the cards team because it makes more sense that they're cards, right? So I think I like it. And then the challenge isn't a challenge; it gets randomized. You know, I don't mind this actually that much. You'll be surprised. Like I mind the first challenge more, where it's like it feels like it's randomized when it was not meant to. But if the challenge is just this is a randomized team up for elimination, and the host directly says it, and there's a reason why the host wouldn't actually do a challenge, like I don't actually mind. Like this makes sense within the lore of the series, and we get to see then a random team gets up for freedom. Okay, sure. I mean, it's pretty fast, pretty cheap, but it still is okay, right? Compared to like when we see a challenge happen, and when it goes like, "This is the challenge," and we skip forward, and it's like, "You lost the challenge." Like it feels like it's randomized. We don't actually get to see any of the process. But in this case, if the challenge just genuinely is a randomizer and one team's up for elimination, sure, right? Team remains in their 100% win record because Cherry Blossom Iced Tea is up for elim. And I'm just gonna presume that we don't know how the alphabet works around here. Why are we doing BAC? Why? I don't get it. Makes no sense. But anyway, I don't know who's getting eliminated in this show. Like I haven't tried to predict it because I have no idea. Laura, let's get to the latest episode 4, which is called Trick to Treat. All right, let's go. Alright, now this is the episode 4 that I just watched, the Battle of the Objects, Trick to Treat. So, first of all, Pebble absolutely smashing it at the elimination, getting 80% of the votes. 10 votes to save compared to Candy's 2 and Bushy's 0. I mean, the fact that Bushy gets eliminated makes perfect sense. Candy and Pebble at least spoke properly. Bushy didn't really have too much of an interaction. That makes sense. So the challenge of being trick-or-treating. Where you gotta go door to door and get candy. Now, okay, here's the deal. For a show, this is actually a good challenge idea because you get to see a lot of strategies, right? The teams can do strategy for how they would get the candy, how they would convince, what they put on caution, what they go to as many doors as possible, what they threaten, what they try to play really nice, right? Like it's a good challenge for a show. However, this show, right, which is operating on like a sort of slideshow theme, uh, cannot do this challenge because it's too complex, right? Like you have too many teams, especially because there's no environment as well. Like you gotta go door to door. That would include speaking to a lot of one-time NPCs and a lot of other people, and like getting to see a lot of interactions that we have once, and it's extremely difficult to do, right? Which means that this is not the type of challenge that you can do on a show of this caliber, right? Which means that what do? We skip the challenge. We just skip everything. Nothing happens. We get to see like one time where we get to see why Team is distracted, I guess, because they get scared or something, and then we get to skip to the end. And then this is what I was saying in the last episode. I dislike challenges that are entirely just feel like a randomizer. Like Team Cherry Blossom Iced Tea got 129 pieces of candy. How? Why? When? We don't know. We didn't see it. We just get to see the outcome. But when you don't see how the outcome occurred, it just seems like they just wrote it in. It's like, okay, we can write any number, right? Like it doesn't feel that good. I do like the guy that candy counts as the character, so they get one extra. That's cool. It doesn't matter. But then it's like, I don't know, the other team the card got 57. How did you get 57? Why did you do less? What happened? Like I don't freaking know, and it's like it's annoying, right? And the other team got 10. Like we get to see why they're distracted, but again, I don't know how they got 10. Like what were the other team doing? One fellow was scared, but there's still the other team. What was Crayon do? It's all this like whole scenario where we don't get to see any of it because of the challenge. Then it's like, yeah, I understand why you would skip a challenge like this because it's really hard to make a challenge like this. But then it's like, make a different challenge. there's tons of Halloween themed challenges that you can do. I'm gonna take this, for example. I'm gonna take an example from another show that I watched a few episodes ago. In Anno Simbib, right? One of the Halloween challenges is like a pumpkin carving contest. And for example, that is something that you could do, for example, here, right? Because it's like you don't need to do much. You just need to show the carved pumpkin at the end for each team, and then you get to rate them, and then it makes sense. Like it's a challenge that you can properly visualize as well. Like you need to, when brainstorming a challenge, you need to think of a challenge. What is a challenge that I'm going to be able to make within not too much animation, right? So that way we can make the show in its relatively fast turnaround time of a few weeks, right? And then it's like relatively, slideshow-esque format, which, is better than a channel like this where you just end up skipping it and we don't get to see it. So that's my personal opinion. Also, why is it double elimination? What poor team. Why the team is just goaded. They're clearly the best team, and now they just get two members wiped out at once. Like, come on. Who's getting eliminated? I don't know. You can go vote to eliminate down there below. um, to be the change you want to see in the world, as I say usually when a voting is open. I don't really. I have no idea for eliminations in the show. But yeah, in general, that's just absolutely my recommendation. Pick out a challenge that you can show, right? Like I want to see the challenge. I want to see the competition part of the competition show. The results are cool, but the results need to happen as a result of the competition. We can't just see the results without the competition. Something's missing there, you know? But that is absolutely my main recommendation when making other episodes. All right, that was all for Battle of the Objects. That's all I think I've got to say. Let's keep it moving. All right, the next few that we're going to be taking a look at, they're going to be pretty fast because I think they're more on the Joker show variety. Well, not the second one, but this one that we're going to be taking a look at is going to be more on that variety. We're taking a look at BFBD, fellow show by QuackerStacker. First episode released 5 days ago. Second one released yesterday. Let's take a look at them. They are relatively short, they're relatively fast, and we'll give it a quick little discussion. All right, let's go. I just watched that. I just watched episode 1 of BFBD, the potato crop. That might be the dumbest intro I've ever done to one of these segments. Okay. So, alright, we've got an interesting cast of fellas. I actually think that some of it is quite interesting. So, we got sort of the pessimism gray, because it's grayscale, hateful potato. We've got nonchalant takoyaki, which I don't, by the way, that is a weirdly good asset for takoyaki. I don't know what that's from, if that's custom or if that's from somewhere else, but whatever it is a pretty damn good asset. But there's a few interesting characters here. I enjoyed the idea of like subversion of expectation nuke, of it sort of being like a nuke that's however worried about its power. It's kind of like an Oppenheimer thing, It's like the nuke is worried about the power it could have. Like there, like a show with that, like a proper show, a more serious one with a new character like that would be genuinely interesting. Jack Harlow, Jack Harlow. Everybody gets into teams, which accidentally ends up being the challenge because they have an uneven amount of teams. So Gray and the Takoyaki end up joining. That makes sense. Nuke and the Bunny, and they're coming in. The shy one and the more outgoing one. That makes sense. And then Jack Harlow just goes along with whoever else because for sure. Basically the potato gets out because nobody wanted to team with them. I mean, I don't know if anybody wouldn't want to team with them necessarily. Like nobody ever directly stated, "No, I don't want to team with you." But like, yeah, I guess it makes sense that people would want to team with them less than the other ones. So then Terrence, the big dog, ends up just simply eliminating the potato. I don't know if potato ever changed their ways, but that's all that we've got to say. I'll be honest, there's not too much more analysis I can give. I did like the pedal stake joke because it did introduce that shirt very hard in BFB, so that's fair. Let's go with episode 2, the one from yesterday. Catch the ball, Jack Harlow. Boop. That was episode 2 of BFBD. Catch the ball, Jack Harlow. This goes fast. We do actually have a challenge here to look at, which is to play catch. So whichever pair catches the ball first wins. Now, first of all, of course, my immediate question is, so Bunny and Nuke could go on to eventually lose the challenge by, not catching the ball, because Nuke didn't catch the ball because they're scared of whatever. But it's like, first, who chose which ones go? Like, why did Bunny throw the ball? Like, couldn't they just swap? Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, okay, if you're scared that what you might catch the ball and explode, why don't you throw the ball? Right? Like, I don't know. Maybe it was pre-assigned, but like we didn't get to see that pre-assignment. So as far as I know, it could be an option that they could have just swapped. But the other fellas, the trendy hoodie launches it to Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow gets it, the greatest rapper in the world. And then Takoyaki and Gray, they're just kind of chilling. They do what they do, nonchalantly. The tiebreaker is to answer question, what's 3 plus 3? The bunny doesn't know, which, I mean, I guess if any character wasn't gonna know that question, it's probably the bunny would feel right. But yeah, Bunny gets pretty upset at Nuke, and we'll make sure that they don't win. So what are they gonna do? Make them explode? I mean, I guess they could do that. In general, what I think of the show, it's all right. It's relatively high pace. I also think that animationally is actually not that bad. Like usually these jokes sometimes are quite bad, but this one's fine. Genuinely, like I don't mind looking at it for sure. Even though it's of course a little bit memey because the host is a JPEG of Terrence from Angry Birds movie, right? There's literally a character that's just Jack Harlow. But yet again, I'm a big fan of the design for Takoyaki because like they don't have eyes covered. Like that's really smart design. And also the nuke. I'm a fan of the nuke idea. The other characters, there's not too much to say about them. To be honest. But I mean, I guess I don't know who's. Look, I'm gonna make my prediction. I'm gonna say that uh Takoyaki's gonna win the entire show. That's my prediction. I'm just saying. I don't know. Just give me the vibe. Um. But yeah. Other than that, I don't know. I mean, I can't predict voting because there's no voting. There's actually a votingless show, which is. I mean, it's interesting that it's a votingless show, but the episodes are releasing very quickly, so I guess it makes sense that it would be a votingless show. And yeah, I mean, I think that's all I have to say. To be honest, there's not much else to say. These episodes they're really short, all right. That's all. Alrighty, and the next thing that we're gonna be looking at is gonna be an episode 1 released by Bloxer, a YouTuber with 1.4 thousand subscribers. Not sure what happened to this channel. Like now that I think about it, how did you get 1,000 subscribers? Because you haven't. Oh wait, you haven't uploaded in two. Wait, did you delete every video? Okay, they have like an entire backlog of just lost media. Look, I don't. Okay. Anyway, this show is called CAE. It is called Threats and Torment. No, hold on. The show is called CAE. Episode 1, Threats and Torment. Okay, let's go. This is AI, isn't it? I'm kind of disappointed. I'm sorry. So, alright. This is a show about a big old question mark and a tiny little blog. They're friends with this rectangle fella that sends them just says death threats a bunch, and they're like, no, you have to stop doing that. You have to stop doing that. Okay, so that's cool. And then they get into an argument about it was very just having a total temper tantrum, this purple block, right? Uh and it's like, all right, we're gonna stop being friends with you if you continue going for it. And it's like, okay, well, I'll stop being friends with you then, because they're mad. And it's like, okay, we'll leave, and then they leave, and that's it. But like, hold on, these voices are AI, isn't it? Like, I'm really sorry if they're not, but I think they are, especially Square's voice. Like, that's like, I don't. I know they have names. I think one of them is called Linus, but like, I think that's an AI voice, or at least it sounds a damn lot like it. And I don't see any credits to anybody else, so I I don't know, which means that like doesn't seem like it, and that means that voices are probably AI, which just immediately, it's an elite tier turn off, and I would rather not be supporting AI projects. So I think that I would not keep looking at this show unless it has a change of heart. I'll take a look. I'll discuss this episode because I already said I was gonna. It's part of the list. But look, we gotta get out of our ways. They gotta not use AI because poor voice actors, and all that jazz. Um, and it's like we can't be doing this. All right. So just immediately, I understand it can be hard, but you can find them. You can find VAs for you. Just put up some ads, put up some posts, on Discord, ad channels, all that jazz. Like you'll get people eventually. Like there are ways to do it that isn't this, and it's like, come on, it's annoying. And if it isn't AI, well, first of all, I'm sorry to whoever spoke. They sound a lot like AI. And secondly, credit them. What the hell are you doing? There's no way one person did all of these voices either way. So it's either not credit or it's AI, and I'm thinking it's AI. So it's like, nah. All right, let's get to it. Like, I understand it's hard to voice that, but we gotta talk. We gotta be real here. All right, they gotta be real. Have a real production. Don't be doing this. All right. You have 1K subscribers from videos that you deleted. Like, come on. We can do better. All right? Okay, that's the pep talk. And watch the rest of the show. You can change your ways. But you gotta change your ways, all right? Okay. Next. All right, the next shade that we are going to be taking a look at is by a YouTuber with 7.3K subscribers called Samsung GD. Now, Samsung GD has made a couple of little thingies, of little videos, not too many object shows. However, we are going to be discussing their object show, which is called Zones Object Show. It has 4 episodes, with the last one releasing yesterday. We're going to start off here with episode 1, which is called A Lovely Day with Orangeys BDAY. Zones of the show by Samsung, episode 1, released 5 months ago. Let's watch it, let's opinionate it. You know the shtick, let's go. So, I don't know what I just looked at, but I just finished watching episode 1 of Zones Object Show by Samsung. So this is chaos of the highest order. We yet again have a couple of text-to-speech voices. Look, I don't mind it when it's a supplement, to voice actors, especially if the characters are robot. In this case, they're not. But I don't mind it sometimes it's like a supplement to real voices. I specifically called out on the last object show because it was very clearly trying to imitate how a real voice actor would do it instead of just being like, kind of, yes, this is a robot voice, right? Um, but what would I say that you got the wheel, the challenge, the wheel, which is stuff you got from the website. It ends up being to bake a cake. The contestants sort of pop in immediately. We have a bake a cake song, which is interesting. So what are the contestants? We've got, I don't know. There's not. The amount of contestants isn't even. I don't think they're all on screen ever at once. Triangle is with blue. Oh, so there are 2 pairs that have to make a cake. Zone, by the way, Zone's object show is not hosted by Zone, apparently. Zone is a contestant in Zone's object show, which I don't even know what that means. Zone is with Agnes, Pearl is with Boxy, Samsung is with Carrot. Okay, but they're making a cake. Someone make a cake. For some reason, like, half the people just feel like eating the cake. Like, Boxy just eats the cake, the face fella just eats the cake, right? I don't know why they do that. When of course the chance is to make a cake, not eat the cake, but I guess half of these characters are kind of just pretty dumb. Uh, Animationally, it's fine. It's interesting just how much movement there is in the body parts, like the mouth. It does like shake around, even to the outskirts of the asset. Like it goes outside the asset a lot of the time. So which is it's an interesting animation style. It manages to look fine. Sometimes it looks a little awkward, and there also, I'm pretty sure, aren't walk cycles, which also increases to the awkwardness a little bit. Like they just kind of float over to the other side of the screen. Um, but other than that, it's fine. I mean, it's a bit chaotic. I think the music is also maybe a little bit too loud. But yeah, I don't. I'm not sure right now. I'll be honest. I'm maybe not extremely convinced. But look, we got some longer episodes incoming. Episode 2 is called Pearls Rejoice. Let's jump into it and let's see what we've got in store there. All right, let's see if we can get a better picture of the characters. So currently, I feel like I don't have one. All right. I have just finished watching Zone's Object Show episode 2, and I wish I could tell you what was going on. I am trying desperately. So, um, they taste the cakes, all right, which some teams have, some don't. The team of Smiley and Pink Apple doesn't have a cake because Smiley ate it. The team of Pearl and Bossy doesn't have a cake either because Bossy ate it. And then the team of what team? The team of Blue Soda and Triangle have a cake with Ross on it, so then he's choking on it, and then Pebble saves him. Alright, so Pebble's a hero. For some reason, Pebble in this episode just become a character that just says their own name. Just is like the grassy archetype. I'm Pebble, and I pebble, cause of the pebbles I pebble, pebble. You know, it's like, I don't, I don't know. So a new character joined, Chocolate Milk, and then they proceed to be dead. It's a murder mystery. We gotta find out who did it. But first, cheeseburgers. Why? I don't know. Is it a 30-second long scene that has nothing to do with anything, and that animation power could have probably been used in actually trying to animate a challenge for it? Yeah, I mean, I believe so, but you know, sometimes things are not the way that they might be. And then in the murder mystery, I'm sorry, this is pretty incoherent. So it's like pretty much, right? 50% characters are asked, "Hello, did you do it?" "No, I didn't do it." "Okay, then it wasn't you." People end up suspecting that it was Blue Soda. I think most of them. Samsung and somebody else also suspected it. Triangle. Whether Blue Soda actually did it, I have no idea. But Blue Soda gets mad at the people suspecting them. And then eventually they rush over to find the answer. What's the answer? We don't know. It's not announced in this episode because for some reason we're using challenge cliffhangers here. But apparently we're voted to be eliminated. So the characters that are out is currently Smiley Face, which got eliminated from the challenge, presumably for having no. I don't know how that was decided. There wasn't ever said how it was decided. And then Zone 1, 2, 3, 4 was apparently eliminated by dying, I guess, because they got eaten by Smiley. So and then they're out. So I guess Zone's out from Zone's Object Show in episode 2, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, I genuinely, right? I don't know what is happening. We don't actually find out who got chocolate milk. I don't know if chocolate milk will ever be alive. It doesn't seem like an object show with recovery centers, you know. So it feels like when a character dies, they die. So I look, we'll have to find out in episode 3, which is called episode. Wait, no, what is it called? The Island slash Blue Soda's backstory. That's what it's called. By the way, cool little art at the end. I enjoyed the little art at the end for the credits. That's rather good. I'm pretty sure somebody's name gets cut off the screen, but maybe not. All right, let's watch it. Let's talk about it. Cause with this, I genuinely don't have like what is happening. Let's just jump into it. All right. Oh, yeah, I also gotta say, why are like the characters different sizes boxes at the end? Like, why can't they just even it out? It seems like people want you to vote Agnes because it's like the biggest circle by far. Like, why? Okay, whatever. It's also a CapCut logo over a CapCut logo. All of these little goofy errors. All right, let's go. Episode 3. All right, that was episode 3 of Zone's Object Show. The island slash Blue Soda's backstory. So, I don't know what is going on. So, all right, yeah, the people they're just debating all the time over on an island because they're on an island now. A new fella joins called Electro Man. Why? I don't know why. They do a challenge. They spin the wheel. Okay, so I understand that the wheel does land on find treasure. However, the thing about it is that the arrow is like of the actual wheel itself is pointed to the right, but the image they use for the background of the wheel points at the top, which makes it seem like the other challenge is picked, which for a moment definitely confused me. But now the challenge is to find treasure. One critique I'm gonna make: Orangey is a pretty bad text to speech. You know, like it's a very non-expressive one at that. You know, and you want to try to take advantage of it, but like in general, just kind of says sentences that in a way that is so uninteresting that it's not really it's not very good. Pearl eventually gets eliminated, also known as shot by a cannon. Okay, away because they apparently killed the freaking chocolate milk. So they're out. Zone 1, 2, 3, 4 is out. Alongside chocolate milk, which they died. So then the other fellas, they're debating, and then the challenge ends up being okay. No, actually, then blue soda has a backstory, so nobody likes blue soda. And then blue soda has apparently rock eating disorder, which makes you eat rocks. So now, you look fabulous because you have a new asset now that's different from the other asset. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that Blue Soda got a new asset or if that was something else, but I don't. I quite frankly, the show doesn't make enough sense for me to be able to know. Then the treasure ends up being fine. Some people are looking around. Blue Soda searches for rocks. Pebble gets scared by a tree for some bloody reason. There's a few interesting shots. I like the shot of the pink apple climbing. From like you got like the back view. I think pretty interesting. It doesn't flow the best, but like I think it's a cool idea. Um, Other than that, thing I found kind of weird about this episode is that for some reason the green screen, I don't know, it's either worse or it's more noticeable, but a lot of characters you can kind of tell that they're green screened in and it's kind of rough. Like Triangle, Pebble, like it's pretty rough. Speaking of which, Triangles can't find a treasure. Suddenly gets eaten by a fish in the ocean with a mustache. Why did that happen? I don't know. But eventually, the fellas are running around, and then Pebble, Carrot, and Violet, Ball, whatever, end up finding it. Yeah, again, yeah, that Violet fella. Like, I don't know why the green screen. It was just green screened and worse here this time, and the other times you can tell. So yeah, now yeah, we are 1, 2, 3. So 3 people are eliminated, but like the thing about the show is there's like one join per episode, so on average, like the amount of contestants per episode doesn't actually lower that much. We got more CapCut on CapCut logos. Um, we got the credits. Yeah, this is a situation. I don't think there's too much to say. Oh yeah, this fella called Eden shows up, and apparently they're important. Box misses them, and somebody else complains that they found them. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I've just tried to recap the episode to you, both for you and also for myself, because I don't know what I watched, so I'm trying to recap it for myself. But as far as opinionating, I don't know. Let's watch episode 4. The latest one is called A Treat Full of Zombies. Good thumbnail for it, but a very nice little thumbnail. Let's watch it. That is the one and only episode 4 of Zone's Object Show. It is titled A Treat Full of Zombies. So everybody's in. Okay, hold on. So, well, actually, we start off with a scene with Eden. Who is Eden? I do not know. This was never established. I don't know. But Eden just showed up in the last episode. Apparently, Boxy misses Eden. And now there's a phone call between Eden and Boxy where Eden, the hate character, tells them to come back or something. And then what happens? Okay, then there's one of actually multiple little songs that plays in this episode. There's the Zone's Object Show, which to be fair, the singer does seem to say it in the back. I don't know how. I don't know what's going on with them. I'm a bit suspicious of it, but Either way, yeah, we get some credits in the intro, which is nice. I don't mind the idea. Have the wheel, the challenge. By the way, terrible wheel. Holy, it's all the same color. Like what? Oh wait, it does manage to land on Carbo Pumpkin. But first, we need to do. Actually, no. First, we see everybody in their Halloween costumes. So you get to see Boxy dressed up as it's like red now. Uh, Agnes is more purple now. The purple sphere, apple, whatever, violet, grape is now just like for proper grape batch. The Electro Man has become this like robot fella, and for some reason, Zone 1234 is back. Why are you back? I don't know. Apparently, just fucking beat up Electro Man to death. I I don't know why. Anyways, Triangle's not there because of course Triangle was eaten by a fish and is theoretically dead. So we have Cake Steak, which is the first time we've actually had Cake Steak properly voting in the proper sense. For some reason they're in space. But yeah, Pink Apple, or one of the Green Apple, according to the costume, gets blown up, which is a good reward. So Pebble and Agnes, they go into the forest, and then everybody else needs to carve a pumpkin. Some people carve decent pumpkins, like green, no, like blue soda, which is red soda. Samsung didn't paint a great one. It was kind of just a whole. Bossy did a pretty good one. Pebble and Agnes are busy getting absolutely lost in the forest and getting chased by werewolves. Samsung's like new design apparently has limbs for some reason, which Samsung didn't have actually before. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Then we have I don't like the last 30 seconds are just I don't know. Genuinely, I could not tell you what that is. What happened there? It's like four characters you've never seen. One of them is Peter Griffin, the other is whatever, and then it's like I don't know. Um, and then we hold on. Please vote one of these characters. So the characters that we're voting are Samsung, Pebble, Violet, Grape, and Edna. Sure. Pick stock screen. Pepper, Bottle, or Lemony. No, you're letting them in the show. Oh, so it's like whoever gets in the show because like you're getting in the show because there's a fucking rejoin every 1 second. So the show that has like 8 characters manages to last forever. Dude, I'm sorry. Like my main criticism is just that this is Confusion 107. You know, like I have no idea what's going on like half the time, to be honest. Like, but not in like a joke show way where it feels like what's happening is supposed to directly be a joke. You know, it's like it's weird. Like, why is there the character popping up at the end? I don't know who's speaking. Their VAs are relatively similar. Like, why were you? Who's the character who's dead returns to life to do one thing and then comes back to being dead? Why some characters that are dead are fine and some who aren't dead are okay, and then the characters get eliminated based on nothing. But now there's voting this time. Why wasn't there in episode 2? What's going on in episode 3? Like, what's going on? How are the eliminations decided? Like, there's so many. There's so many things and questions that I've not been able to grasp watching this, which is unfortunate because I don't know, it just felt like kind of a confusing experience, you know? Like, as far as animationally, it's fine, it's very serviceable, you know, it could survive in a show. The problem is it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like what's happening doesn't make a lot of sense. The challenges they're like serviceable challenges, all right? But it's just weird because like half the time the characters aren't doing the challenge, they're just doing whatever else, like talking about the backstories and eating rocks and stuff, and it's like I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna be 100% honest. That's just the main suggestion I can give here. I don't really know what's going on. I wish I did. I mean, I'll keep an eye out for whatever episode. I also don't. Why does can we stop having rejoin like new people join the show? Like there's genuinely been like a show every point 8 episodes. Like at that point the show never ends. Because you eliminate one character, but you just add another, so the total contestant count remains like the same. So like what I I genuinely, I'm sorry, but I don't know. I don't know. I tried to grasp it, what's going on. I don't think I quite got it. But keep it up. Try to make your show make more sense is my main critique, and I think we just gotta keep it moving. And then the final series that we are going to be taking a look at today is created by Miles or cherryboolm. Um, it is titled Hotel Object. Had at least I think the first part of its finale released yesterday. We're going to be taking a look at this show so far. It seems to be on hiatus and all that, but we are taking a look at the remaster, if I'm not mistaken, of it from 1 to 7, because as far as I'm aware, there is a 2021 version that is an original, but it seems to have the same challenges, the same concept, and all that jazz. So we're going to be taking a look at it with all of its episodes. They seem to be pretty short, so that we can reach Hotel Object 7, 8, and let's start over with Hotel Object 1. Open the prize, you will get an April Fool's. Great thumbnails, by the way, these videos. Holy, they're actually all so good. All right, let's get to it. Alright, so I've just finished watching a Hotel Object 1. First of all, yet again, great thumbnail, and great thumbnails in general. I really like how they are all color matched. Like we have a very yellow thumbnail, a very orange thumbnail, a very green thumbnail, a very blue thumbnail, a very red thumbnail. Like that is amazing. Love that. But so I had to get wired a little bit to a show with no voice acting, but it is pretty okay. We immediately started with a scene where there's a bit of a misunderstanding. Uh, Apparently, Pizza calls out a leave for maybe being too nervous to talk to the card. But card saying you saying I like that? No, that's actually the opposite of what they're saying. They're saying that the leave likes you. But okay. There's a one. So one is the host of this show, which okay, look, this is very funny right now because of course we're in a post Teapot 20 world, but like yeah, one is the host of this show. Um, it's sort of a 1-4 collab, like it's a blending of the two characters. They eventually host the show. The intro also so interesting because it's like a BFDI and BFB shared an intro. Like it's proper, like it's a proper blend going on. So the challenge is to April Fool somebody, and a few people try, but they don't really. Some people just direct, like the people that go up for Elim end up directly just not managing. Like they either reject. Wait, what they either cause chaos or they directly say they don't want to do the challenge because Card and Cupcake just say, "Oh, we don't want to do the challenge." Okay, so they're up for Elim, and then later burns everything down or something. Taking pictures that I really hate person. What? I don't really know. For some reason, a coin gets zapped. Trans Taco and Pizza Slice get submerged by a yo-yo cake. I think no, that's not a yo-yo cake. No, is it a yo-yo cake? I think it is a yo-yo cake. Then Pizza gets um like sick by that and then vomits, and one of the vomit hits one, which puts him up for Elam. So that's fair. Wait, who's up for? Oh, the fire. Wait, no. I don't know who's getting eliminated. Wait a minute. So up for elimination, it's like this fire, pizza, cupcake, lighter, and the card. Who is this fire? What? I don't know who that is. I just don't know who that is. I guess I didn't see them. But either way, one as a host is quite interesting. I like, especially like for example, when one uses this app, it's like they tried to write up sort of a four that's kind. They didn't really write one in there. Like it's one that if one acted like four is pretty much what's going on. Is interesting. However, there's some potential. I would like the assets drawn for one. I think they're pretty They are pretty fun, and I like the elimination assets for the characters. Like the voting screens, the voting tabs. I like them. They're very cool, but I am an enjoyer of them. No idea who's getting eliminated. I guess we'll find out in Hotel Object 2 lazy episode. All right, then let's go. Okay, so I just watched episode 2, lazy episode. Now, this show has been honestly a very interesting experience to watch it because some shots, right, in this are very impressive and I'd say good. Um, like certain aspects of it are very, very interesting, but some of them are weird. I think I like this episode. I like it. It didn't make too much sense, I guess, with the channel. But I was a fan. I'm presuming Pizza gets eliminated, but I like the fact that Pizza gets TP'd in the middle, walking to the top of the void, and then proceeds to be dead. Um, so that's kind of fun. I like, yeah, one is kind of in the 4 archetype of being, oh, they died, Lamau, lol, you know. Then proceeds to become the ground and does everything. That shot is very, very impressive. I really like that shot, how it goes expanding and then it goes outwards into the other characters. That's actually an amazing shot. So whoever animated that, good job. That is an amazing looking little shot. Then we get back. Yeah, one has just become the ground. Why? Nobody knows. That's just one, I guess. The hosts in the season don't make that much sense. Um, Card and Cupcake are debating. For some reason, Trantaka is like, "Yo, have you ever felt like you were being watched?" And starts, questioning the show. Which I don't know. Nobody did that before. Yeah, like yeah, bro's right. Like, yes. There is no prize in this show. I didn't even think about that. I genuinely, it didn't even cross my mind, but it is true that there is no prize, so that's fair. Um, but yeah, then there's 3, which is there. Okay, so 3 is like the co-host, I think, because like there's 4 and X, so apparently in this one it's 1 and 3, which is something I didn't talk about them in episode 1, because in episode 1 they appeared for one scene, and then the one just like disintegrated them immediately, and then that was it. So that is something. And then they asked 3 to host, and then it's like, okay, I'll host. And then they don't even do a challenge. They just put the people that they don't like up for elimination. Now, apparently, they don't like Lighter, Card, Trantaka, and uh, Shiny Leaf, which I don't know I would enjoy if there was a bit more explanation towards the choices. Like I don't know why did those people survive? Like why did Cupcake survive? Not even about it. Cupcake was pretty mean heading towards 3 there. Like why did they not get put up for elimination? I have no idea. Anyways, 3 and the end quote says the line of the year, and I quote, "Yo." Truly one of the greatest lines ever said. But yeah, yet again, adored the little voting screens. Don't know who made them. He did a great job. The one for Shine Leaf's really good. With like the hearts around it. The one for Taco with the fly in the background. It's all really nice. And then surprise. I get that it's just like a video editing effect, but it's a nice little status TV VHS static effect going on when spying on 3 there. I enjoyed that little effect. It does give off the right vibe. Um, so that's that for episode 2. I honestly enjoyed it, especially animationally. I found that the animation was actually quite good, and I quite enjoyed it. Even though it didn't really have a challenge, I wish that the episodes would have more challenges, but they're so short that it's like, okay. Let's head into episode 3 and let's talk about it. It's called Standstill. I think this is my favorite thumbnail. That one's truly exceptionally good. All right, let's head into it. Okay, I just started episode 3, and I'm kind of into this. I don't know what it is about it. I'm kind of into this. The animation quality for this is like quite good. I enjoy 3. I enjoy 3 and 1, the asses that are drawn for them. I think they're quite fun. Um, so the idea here is that 3 is gonna go on vacation, because the one can't stop them. Because one, I had to do, you see, I don't know what's going on lore-wise that much, but I like the gags that are happening. So they all go on top of the bus tube, and then the challenge is to stay still, not fall off. Eventually, Queen and Cupcake do fall off after having a little brawl to try to save Beach Ball. 3 decides that the third challenge is to say 3. Everybody, I think, says 3, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I think Cart doesn't necessarily say 3 directly, but yeah, 3 stop driving the bus, and then there's the final scene, which like a very nice, it's a very fun, like event. This one, or it's like just crashed into the bowling ball. It's well animated, and then it fades into the end screen, and nobody's there because there's nobody to drive the vehicle, so there's nobody to actually do anything. The 3 characters up for Elam end up being Coin, Cupcake, and the fella, and then you can hear the crash going on as the screen fades out. I just love these little details from when shows do it. And then at the end, there's also a great little asset for Cupcake being gone. You can tell it's a splatter on the ground. So I'm a fan of that. There might be somebody looking at them because they like walk away, like the little like shadow on the left side of the screen. So I'm not sure what's going on. Who's getting eliminated? I mean, I'd eliminate the coin fella because like I genuinely I did not realize they were a contestant in the first 2 episodes. I proper did it. Like I just thought it was like, for example, the David fella that appears at the beginning. Like they just end up leaving. And I also like how I think Transaco is the one eliminated. Um it's like they're just walking around and they just fade out at the beginning of the screen. It is like there's a level of smart visual details that are that is very, very interesting. I can't even lie. And I'm into this. Let's head into episode 4. Ugh, let me sleep. Let's watch it. Alright, I've just finished watching Hotel Object 4. Yet again, there's a lot of cool visuals that I enjoy. Like visually speaking, the show genuinely does just look pretty damn good with the assets and all of that. I find laying down 3 rather funny. But like genuinely in the lore, I don't know what's going on. So I believe Cupcake gets eliminated because they're just not present in the episode. There is a recovery center machine, um, which we get to see as um card, or I guess ace, as some people may call them, is there. Then Beach Ball just dies again. So we've so far got a death streak of 2 for this fella. Yeah, everybody just trying to wake up free. Coin is there, so I believe that they're on about it. Then 3 does the grand review. I am not 3. I am actually Circle. What? I don't know why were you 3? Is 1 also Circle? Is 1 a different fella? Is 1 just 1? Is 1 also a circle? Is 1 like square? I mean that'd be an interesting detail. Like I don't know, it's interesting. The circle asset also looks pretty interesting. I mean it's more basic, so I guess there's less creativity. Yeah, lighter does wake them up. I guess by saying 3 is better than 1. They don't really. It's not like it's a very unorthodox way to wake them up because they kind of wake them up to correct them, but yes, they do indeed wake them up, which means they end up winning the challenge. Yes, everybody wants to ask questions. Nah, the show's not long enough for questions. They got like 1 minute and a half long show. Then Circle says the hit line. I forgot what to say, but hello. You see, like at the ending, like the asset for Circle is very nice. This might be Slingshot's first time up for Elam, to be honest. I'm gonna say they get out. I'm gonna say Slingshot gets eliminated because I don't think I saw Slingshot get out before. But yeah, I don't know who drew these backgrounds, but they did an amazing job. For the voting cards for each person, like they're absolutely stunning. But yeah, it's a nice little episode. It's a bit of a more basic. In the Greenland, I don't know what is happening. We see a yellow foot stomp. It's sort of a yellow orangey hue. Hold on to this box that was like filling up. Not really sure. It could be. It's not 1 because 1's blue, so I'm thinking that it could potentially be 1 like reincarnated as like square or something, like but like for real. Because like if circle is this cyan into blue hue, then maybe we could have like a yellow into orange hue for like a square or something, and then it's like a different shape fella. I think that'd be pretty interesting, to be honest, but I don't know what the box is about. I don't know anything else. It's just pretty interesting. Let's watch the next episode and let's find out. It is called Who Are You? Let's watch it. Alright, I have just finished watching Hotel Object 5. Who Are You? Which, yet again, don't really know what's going on in the lore of this show. Like, I kind of have a grasp on it, but it kind of switches itself up. The intro changes a little bit. I think in the last episode, the intro didn't have anybody in it, now that I think about it, which was a cool detail that I forgot to mention. So people keep disappearing, which is true. If I'm not mistaken, I think Beach Ball gets eliminated because they sort of just disappear. Yeah, they're gone. Leaf ends up, Shiny Leaf ends up getting eliminated as well. Then also showing up, yeah, sort of just replacing Coin and Beach Ball is Square, which I correctly predicted. That I'm happy to have done. I successfully predicted that there was going to be a yellow to orangey hue colored square. So that's nice. That I was presuming is a replacement for one. I don't know why one just decided to murder the shiny leaf. But yeah, they took the form of a number. Then we find out the prize, which is hotel object. That makes I don't know how. No, to be fair, well, it is also true that we never knew the prize. It also makes sense by the fact it's called hotel object that it would probably be that. But yes, the prize is hotel object and also $10 squadrillion, which is a pretty good prize, I must say. So the challenge is to give a welcome back gift. Yet again, I really like the assets drawn for square and circle here. Like the drawings themselves are quite nice. The fellas, they could try to give on some challenges. So yeah, the challenge ends up being to grab a welcome back gift for them, for Square, because they're back. So then, what did the fellas do? Slingshot doesn't even really try, just sort of throw sand at them as a welcome back gift, and then they get, to be honest, reasonably zapped away from existence. The shiny leaf ends up grabbing the jello from like 3 or 4 episodes ago. I don't even remember, but brings it over for them to eat. Card tries to give the vehicle that the bus from Circle from a few episodes ago. However, Circle busts them before that can really happen. The bus also just doesn't work, so yeah, then Square gets it, and then Square comes in to eat the jello. Lighter doesn't even really get the chance to give a gift before Leaf gets immunity for giving the jello away. Um, I found it interesting it to be Square and the Circle's relation in the show. They seem to be buddies, in a way. When like we never really got to see them as numbers be buddies. We saw them in one scene together in Object 1 where nothing really happened between them. So seeing them actually like be buddies and talk and like, hey guys, we're doing this together and we're happy now. Like we even see in the post credit scene, them being all homies, like, yeah, we did it. It's like this not something that we see before, so it's kind of interesting to see it right now. I don't know why Shiny Leaf become pixelated at the end of the episode, by the way. Then the voting screen ends up being Card, Slingshot, and Lighter, the people who didn't do it because Shiny Leaf is safe. So that all makes sense. I like it how theoretically, right, the jello is blue, is berry blue. So I like how the hand is like stained in blue because they're eating the jello. I love that detail. Um, the other than that, who's getting eliminated? No idea. Genuinely no clue. But like in general, it is quite low. Nice, and they fly away. We do see like reflections of one coming because one was the ground fully for a moment. I don't know if they are anymore. I don't think they are, right? Because apparently Square is one. So maybe there is one and there's also Square, but that wouldn't make sense with the lore. But when does anything? I I yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. I kind of don't know. We have to keep it moving. Let's watch Hotel Object 6, which is called Slowly Coming to A. Uh Oh, okay. Let's watch it. Alright, that was episode 6 of Hotel Object. Yet again, an episode with great little animations and character details. Like, for example, Lighter's flame turning purple when they're angry. This is epic detail. Love that detail. Yet again, as usual, the little assets for Square are amazing. Um, so they're at the final three because Lighter gets eliminated. Then we got Card, Shiny Leaf, and Slingshot incoming. Their challenge is to go and claim the prize. For some reason, Card hesitates to dance, but then dances and never stops celebrating, even into the final challenge, which again, not really sure why that happened. Slingshot and Leaf are, of course, running at high speeds, trying to go get the prize, since that is the challenge. They end up sort of locking eyes on each other and starting to battle each other out, trying to defeat each other. In the meantime, Square changes the challenge. The challenge is to celebrate the 4-month April. However, here's the deal. Only one person actually celebrates it, which is um Slingshot, which goes and makes a super quick party. It's a little weird. I don't know why circles there. I don't I don't know what the clock is there. That's not a character. There's a dead bowling ball from a few episodes ago when like they gave a sandwich to him. Is like it I don't know what's happening. But yet again, cool animation details such as the fact that the leaf bounces on Square to then float over back to the ground. It's so interesting. And then Card is so unbothered in this episode. I don't know what's going on. Um, there's like a cutaway, right? Where something happens to Card. Did they get hit by the sandwich? Oh, they do. They will get hit by the sandwich. And then there's a little vote to win screen right at the end. Yet again, it's an amazing little screen. Like animation is very good. Like with the side by side with each character's colors and all that jazz. The post credit scene with the snap with this lighting on it that then spawns the fellas back and they're like confused. It's like it's a very well animated little show. And I understand that this is a remaster, so of course you gotta go with the original's lore. But yeah, if there is like a new object show with the ability to make new lore, this is definitely a fella to check out. Because the one thing that I'm maybe not too into the show for is like that the lore is a little confusing, right? Because I don't really know what's going on. It's kind of it's being kept mysterious. The characters are too mysterious. They don't really know what's going on. They play itself a bit too fast, right? Um, but the animation quality is very good in my opinion. Very nice to look at. And also, I mean, I would recommend voice acting. I think voice acting is better than not voice acting, but at least for the meantime, this show is good enough to where it survived without it. But yeah, it's time to reach the latest episode, episode 7A, which should be the first part of the finale. It's 4 minutes 56, released yesterday. It's weird because this is apparently a hiatus. We're in a hiatus, which, okay, sure, but how did we release an episode in the middle of a hiatus? I don't know. Apparently, it's like the first part, and then I've got genuinely no idea. We just have to go discover it. We have to go watch it. We have to go talk about it and see if this show should get out of hiatus. Let's watch it. Alright, well, that is the first part of the finale of Hotel Object. It is called End, even though it is, well, not the end. So, we cut away to Pizza Guy that was making up money so that they could buy a boat for some reason. But eventually, no, that's not what happened. They get TP'd away by Square. The store catches on fire. The credit card gets stolen. Um, and they bring pretty much everybody else over except for Cupcake and Trantaka because they're gone. Um, and eventually to spectate the finale. Fair enough. Jack, no, not Jack. As for my Card tries to grab the prize. Does it really? There's a loud sound. Big not fan of that, by the way. Loud sounds and jump scares are hashtag bad, and the warning is so tiny. I actually noticed it in time, but I would not have liked it if I didn't. But anyways, Leaf for some reason randomly criticizes Square. Square, yet again, in my eyes, is a very nice little character. Um, in terms of like animation and all that jazz, the way they move is expressive. It is one of the power of Algebraian styled characters, right? Is that they can their bodies just have this type of mobility to them that is absurd. So yeah, it's one of the powers. You get a special finale intro, which is pretty solid as well. I like yeah the characters they popping in from the black and white, and then there's a hotel. I mean, it's better than the other intro for sure. From the old intro, and it's a rather nice little finale intro. The challenge ends up being that the prize gets thrown over to the other island. The voting doesn't matter, and the challenge is to get to the island and bring it back. Yeah, again, adore the little graphical details of the fact that the throw literally confuses, like, it literally shakes the text box and then it drops down due to a lack of balance. And like the go, for example, shape shifting the box, it is like animation speak. I mean, the show's great. I'm not gonna lie. I think the show's great. Miles did a very good job in making this thing look good. You know, any criticism I have of it entirely arrives from a lore perspective, right? Um, where it's like you can tell that there's a story and a backstory, but there's not enough time to really explain that much of it, so it just kind of happening how it is happening. Lighter is absolutely like pissed off in this episode because they're just like all our fellas are gone after they hear the glitchy sound. So we get to see a lot of purple lighter, which yet again is a great graphical little detail. Um and eventually, after Lighter complains to Mr. Circle, Circle says what's going on. Cupcake apparently went to therapy. Uh, uh I do know after cover was covered before you, she wanted to go into therapy. I like apparently that's okay. Like okay, here's it. It's not that it's necessarily a bad thing, but it's like what you telling me Square would give a damn? Square is the just fella who just destroyed Pizza's entire life savings and teleported them to a lava pit and like stole their money and is using it for the challenge and stole their credit card and murdered them like 5 times and then recovered them. And you're telling me that we are gonna be respecting the wishes of Cupcake to want to stay in therapy and not be in the show? Like it makes sense from a Cupcake decision, but I don't know how the hell would the host be okay with it? If he's like weird sort of psychopathic host, I don't know how they're okay with that decision, which is the only reason why I'm like a little confused. Like, okay, but either way, whatever. Eventually, Circle is surprisingly nice. Yeah, Circle's like the nicer host. There's like that whole. We're doing a lot of 4x dichotomy of like X, of like 4 being the more evil weird host that murders people, and then when you talk to X, it's like X is chill most of the time. Doesn't really do that much and apologizes and stuff. So there's a very similar dynamic going on of like if you talk to Square, Square will just go like shut up. But like if you talk to Circle, Circle's going, oh yeah, there was like this thing, but like yeah, I'm sorry, I can get ice cream and stuff. Um, so that's pretty cool. And then we eventually get to Trantaka, which I guess just float up into the hit afterlife, which I don't even know where you are. It looks like you're in the sun. Like that's what because the background is all the sun. Like there's the very yellow, we're in the sun. In the middle, there's like the pathway of this building suggests the sun. There's like some stuff in there. What does that door say? I don't know. Oh, it says stairs. So there's not too much I can really grasp of it directly from here. There's a few other characters like coin drawn on the walls and stuff, but like there's not too much to grasp. But it does look like Shantaku literally just in the sun. Like I don't know. But then the episode cuts off, sort of at a random scene, as stated in the description. This is everything that was so far made before the show went into its quote unquote hiatus. So, do I think the show should get out of hiatus? Sure, why not? I mean, we're like this is the type of thing where I feel like we're so close to the end. Like, I mean, look, I don't know why the show's on hiatus. It could be any number of reasons, but I think canceling something like this is like, I don't think that it would be a very good move because if I'm not mistaken, this fella is making other shows still in the middle of it, right? Because this fella has a good chunk of shows. But then it's like this show, it's so close to finishing, you know? Like if this has 4 minutes or maybe like how your channel, let's say at most, right? There's 7 more minutes. It's like it's not really like that much. Like there's enough. We're so close to the finish to where I think it's worth it to just pull through, give the show its own little end game. We already put the effort. We already put the first part of a finale. Like 7B would be the last episode of the show theoretically, right? Like it would be what we need. I'm not sure how the 2021 version of the show ends up, but like I think that this show would be worth it to finishing. It's a very nice looking show as far as animation wise goes. It's very nice. Text it's not always perfectly spelled, but like in general, like it's all very understandable. Sometimes I didn't get the lore too much, like how one sunk into the ground and then disappeared for 3 episodes. Why did that happen, right? Um, why did the shapes masquerade as numbers in the first place? I have no idea. Why did some fellas disappear as much as they did? I don't know. Only to then come back, and why did the people not realize? And why did they only realize then? And then like, why does it feel like you're being watched? Yeah, you're being watched, but you are being watched. Then you died, and then the glitchy sound, which the fellas questioning until they get it over. Then Card listens to the glitchy sound and starts hearing it, but then they don't ever really make a fuss about it, and then it's like there's a lot of little plot ideas here that I'm not 100% sure on, but as far as the general watching experience, it's pretty good. I also like Card's new asset. It is quite a bit clean. It's cleaner than the other one. It's more like it feels like they got laminated. Feels like the card got laminated. But yeah, Circle might go get them some ice cream, maybe. Uh, and yeah, me personally, I'd finish the show because we're so close to where like the amount of effort put into it, I feel like warrants it being finished because we're getting there. But I don't know why it's on hiatus. It could be any reason. It could be personal. I don't have the knowledge. But either way, yeah, I think that's all I have to say. As far as for the ending, I mean, I think the winner. I haven't looked at 2021 season, so I don't know who the winner is of this show. But I would realistically, if the voting doesn't matter, but I would still usually predict that the person who got the most votes would win. So I would say that Card probably wins. I think Card game. I don't know who's a fan favorite because we never like the thing about these votes that we never got to see the votes themselves. Right? I think maybe one time we got to see the votes. So in general, it's like I don't know who's a fan favorite and who's not a fan favorite. Who's like acing the votes. Uh, who's like doing really well and who isn't doing really well. Um, but I mean, the Card fella just strikes me as a little bit of a fan favorite. They speak a lot, they've been there a lot, and all that jazz. So I'm gonna say that they probably would win, but I don't know. I don't know. It's a pretty competitive little final three. Of characters that like they didn't do an insane amount of things. Like they weren't the most notorious in the other episodes. However, they just sort of are three pretty strong competitors who didn't get too much fuss. So yeah, good luck on the finale if the show ever gets out of hiatus. Me personally, I recommend it to, but of course, you know your show better than anybody if you're listening, Miles. And yeah, that's all I think I've got to say. Let's move on. And with that out of the way, we have officially looked at everything we had to look at today for Object Catchup. Took a look at quite a lot of little shows, and overall, in terms of videos watched, it is like a big number. It's ended up as a bit longer video than the other ones. They were progressively getting shorter. I decided to pick it up a little bit. I could have not watched Hotel Object today, but I decided that it was a good idea to, because I didn't know when I was going to be able to get it again, because I am quite a bit worried about the fact that there's going to be a lot of weekend releases that are big deals that we got to watch. We got to make specials on. That's going to mean that a lot of the smaller object shows might not get a lot of time to shine in the next few days, which yeah, so I had to make sure that anything here currently before any of that stuff releases got covered. So I've covered pretty much most of it that I could find and say. So yeah, I mean, I think that's all we really got to say. We're all caught up for today. We'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.